2 million federal workers, and Trump is asking them to bye bye, be gone, peace, see you later, GTFO. You know what that means if you don't Google it. But Trump is telling them to GTFO. And so what does that look like? Could be trouble. So, well, for some, not for others. So Trump is essentially saying that because remember whenever Trump won the election, now he's done a lot of things. Some I agree with, some I don't. But understand that there's no such thing as perfect politics. There's no such thing as perfect people. So there's always going to be some things you like. There's always going to be some things you dislike. My advice to you, don't make it personal and just try to mitigate around the things that you don't want and take advantage of the things that you do want. So with Trump, I know for sure he's so he created this thing called Doge, which what did it do for the coin? I don't know. But it's Department of Government Efficiency. So whenever your company, because we talk about layoffs a lot here, whenever your company hires a Department of Efficiency or bring in anybody that uses the words efficiency or something like that, then a lot of people are going to get fired. Heads are going to roll. That's all that means. That it just means you're probably not going to be here much longer. And so I know Vivek was a part of it with Elon Musk. I know Vivek did drop out. I think he's focused on a governor race in whatever state he's attached to. And I like Vivek, man. I think he's going to be a strong candidate for the next 10, 12 years to take office. I also see that America went out and said, hey, we're sick of, the way the country is for the past 4 years. It's been a struggle for it's essentially gotten worse for everybody. It did not get better unless you own the assets. That's why I always tell you. Inflation is not a bad thing if you own the asset. It is a bad thing, however, if you are the consumer. My advice to you, get out of consumer mode, get into production mode, and you can change the game. So he's been in office, I don't know, a week. And so this this guy, first of all, this guy is doing all of this at 78 years old. So I don't know about you all, but I'm a long way from 78. I know a lot of you are. Oh man, that guy's running circles around you and I. And somebody says, speak for yourself. He's probably running circles around you too. And this guy is doing so much. He had an issue where, because he's trying to deport everybody. I have my opinions about deportation. Listen, I can never condone anything illegal. Cannot just condone it. It's not right. It sends the wrong message. My heart goes out to the people that are here who want to do better, who are trying to do better, and who are not criminals. So I wish there was some way things could be worked out for them, those who have proven themselves. I know they came here legally, but we can be nice. They're here. Give them a chance to get documented and do it the right way. That way you don't have to ship everybody out. But for the criminals, yes, you need to go. And I think every American understands that and why, the reasoning behind it. So, but I think the country it might have been Colombia or Venezuela. And the president was like, of that country was like, no, we're not taking these guys or girls back. We're not taking these criminals back. So Trump got on the phone on the golf course about 2 hours later, talking about getting stuff done. That plane continued en route and dropped those people off. You know what he did? He probably threatened them. I hear that he threatened them with tariffs, 25-cent tax pretty much for selling things into our country. A country like that needs America. Why? Because America is the largest consumer nation in the world, as far as I know. Let me Google that. I don't just want to tell you that. All right, so largest consumer market in the world is, according to the Google machine, or what I like to call the Googler. Shouldn't Batman have a nemesis called the Googler? I don't know. What would he do? Just Google everything? I don't know. Like, I guess he would drive you crazy just Googling. All right. So it says China is considered the largest consumer market in the world, primarily due to population. Okay, gotcha. Uh, let's see where America ranks. Well, let's see. Now I'm looking at something else. It says America is number one, European Union is number two, as of 2023. So, list of consumer markets in the world according to data from World Bank. So, household consumption ranking has America number one. So, we'll stick with that. So, America is number one in consumer goods, which means these countries, they need us. It's a big drop off after you get to about after you get to about, I want to say 10. It's a huge drop off. Some of these countries are struggling. Was Colombia the country or was it Venezuela? Either way, both of those countries are struggling and they need to sell their products. So they need a country like America, and America comes in and Trump comes in. I just like people who get stuff done. You got to respect that, especially at that age. People 78 now are just sitting around watching, I don't know, what do they watch? Does The Price is Right still come on? I don't know. But when you get that age and you get stuff done, you can only respect that. And so again, you may not agree with everything that he's done so far. I know there was a freeze on like some funding. There was a freeze on like some government distribution programs, and I know they backtracked that. That was probably him getting ahead of himself and just rushing to do something, and that ain't work out because there's smart people up there who's going to be like, no, this ain't the way to go. Even if we're friends, like, no, this ain't the way to do it. We need to backtrack this. And I'm glad that there are people there who's willing to, talk him down on certain things. And so we got a lot of things done. What has Trump done in his first week? Let's do a recap. All right. So what has Trump done so far? Let's see. Oh, he's been in there 10 days? I didn't know that. Is that right? Maybe. Trump's first 10 days back in power. What did he do? Trump does not care about other people's opinions. And if you can learn to have that, I'm telling you that's going to change your life. That's a win. By the way, for everyone who's looking to find an alternative, you don't have to quit your job, but find an alternative to only making money from your job. You need another source of income. Most millionaires have multiple sources of income. So if you want to I contend that you can only have financial freedom if the money's not tied to your time. Otherwise, there is no freedom because your time is the freedom that we're seeking. Not the money, the time. But we want to make money in a way that it does not require our time. So if you want to learn how to do that, I'm going to be teaching in my class how to start, grow, and scale a middleman business from your phone. Yes, Middleman CEO, making money without doing any of the work. Now, what does that mean? That means that I teach you how to partner with local businesses, and then you find the customers, because the businesses are good at doing the work. They're not good at getting customers. They always need customers. So I teach you how to find a customer for that business, match the customer with the business, dispatch the work, and you're done. So essentially, you find, let's say, for instance, because if you go to middlemanceo.com, I have about 25 of my favorite industries and what they pay deposit wise that you can look at and choose from. I have students who do all kinds of things, but my list is home cleaning. I currently have a home cleaning middleman business. Moving service, I currently have one of those too. Website design, think about doing that. Painting professionals, graphic design. So if you know someone who can paint, they need more work, more painting work. I teach you how to find the customer, get paid to do it, and then send the work to them. Graphic design, just like this. Cabinet installation, that makes a lot of money. Pressure washing. Let's see. Window cleaning, TV mounting, lawn care, photography. Yes, photography. If somebody charged $2,500 to shoot a wedding, and you get the customer for them, you could easily take a $500 deposit, right? And they'll be happy to take the other 2,000, but you don't have to leave your house. And you do it all through your phone. And printing, like business cards, stuff like that, mobile detailing, appliance repair, pool cleaning, garage repair, tree cutting, that makes a lot, roofing, that makes a ton, vehicle tinting, commercial cleaning, landscaping, phone repair, computer repair, plumbing, video editing. I don't know if I said garage repair. I probably did. But that's just a list of some that you can do and the deposits. If you want to see that, go to middlemanceo.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the homepage, and so you'll see my list of the top 25 industries and the deposit commissions, which is what you take from every booking. All right, so Trump is back. He's savage. He knows that he does not have to run again, and he does not have to appease anybody. So look out. It's going to be savage. And this dude is like, look, I don't even care what people think. I'm coming here to get you know what done, to get crap done. And you got to give him credit. He's been doing it. So 2 million federal workers he offers to buy them. So essentially he's saying, take this severance pay, because I think they agreed to 8 months afterwards. So quit now. We'll pay you for the next 8 months. Whether you take it or not is irrelevant. You're out of here. You got to go. So you can take the payoff and the layoff, or you can just take the layoff. Either way, you're out of here. I'd rather take the payoff and the layoff. So so far, he's done a lot of things. Let's see. Military orders. I know he scrapped DEI. Let me know how you guys feel about that in the comments. I'll probably give you a different perspective. And I don't want to be combative. You can believe what you want to believe. That's okay with me. I just believe that you should be rewarded. What is that? I just believe that you should be rewarded according to what you're capable of doing. So I believe that if you qualify, if you're the best candidate for the job, you should get the job. I don't believe that you should get it based on anything other than whether or not you're the right candidate for the job. And I don't believe that they should be able to discriminate against you if you are the right candidate and you don't look like somebody they want to work with. I don't uh, approve of that. So I do believe that you should be hired according to your credentials. And I believe that a company should hire you. Just go back to what Martin Luther King said. We don't say it enough, but he was dealing with racism back then, so this ain't really about racism now. But he did make a great point that we can still use today. And it's because I'm not saying all this is like racism. It's not always racism. I know we like to run to that because it's a very, how can I say this? It's a toxic word online. It gets attention, so people like to throw it around. I don't. I grew up in South Louisiana, where where a former, what do you call it? Klansman. I know that word. That's not what I'm thinking about. What's the leader of the clans? Oh my gosh, can't think of it. But when I was a kid, I remember this guy, David Duke, running for office. And he was like a grand wizard, I believe that's the word for the Klansman. And he almost won the state. So if that ain't racism, I don't know what is. But you can't let that stuff stop you. We don't want to, there's always going to be some people out there. And I got news for you. There's racists on every side. Every side. No ethnicity goes without having some racist over there. But I don't let it bother me. You shouldn't let it bother you. Look, most people in this country are good people. It is what it is. So, I believe that you should get the job based on your credentials. But what MLK said, he said, we should live in a country where, we'll be judged by not the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. And you could even drop color of skin, because I don't want this to become a racist video. It's not that. But you should be judged by what? The content of your character, right? Not by what you look like, not by the background you come from, not by the, where you live, or the car you drive or anything like that, but by the content of your character. And when it comes to jobs, what you can do for the company. Are you the best candidate? So I know a lot of you are going to disagree with that. You're welcome to, but you're wrong. You're wrong. You should be hired, because as a business owner, now if you're in the middleman business, the businesses are small. We only do maybe 1, 2, max 3 people. That's it as we grow. And those are VAs, virtual assistants. Other than that, we don't really have people running around. We don't need offices or anything like that. I have an office because I do a bunch of things, including these videos. But if you like, a lot of my students have middleman businesses making 4,500 a month. They don't have offices or anything like that. They don't need it. It's just them and a VA, and that's all you need, because money's about time. Time is about money, right? So we want to get the money so we can get the time. Otherwise, you're going to have to sell the time to get the money, and we don't want to do that. That's not freedom. So, but let's see, open borders. So he closed the borders. That needed to happen. Look no further than the Lake and Riley incident. Very sad. I know what you're thinking. That's only 1 out of 1 million. But listen, if that was your one, if that was your sister, your brother, or your child, you would not feel the same way. Or your friend. So don't say stuff like that. If it was yours, you would understand. Thank God it was not yours. So, but the criminals, they absolutely should be removed from the country ASAP. Uh, I'll just tell you what I think would be okay. I think it's going to cost a lot of money to move every person who's here illegally out of the country and back to their country. I think probably a better idea, this is just me and I could be wrong. This is just me. I think a better idea would be, number one, get the criminals out. Number two, I know that the government has to take care of a bunch of people who can't take care of themselves. I know. I know, so that goes to the taxpayer, so that ain't fun. I got you on that. But my thinking is, all right, for those, you see the pictures, you see the videos, moms crying, kids crying. I know it's heartbreaking. If you got kids, you know. I asked myself the question. I said, if I was here and somehow I ended up getting here illegally, let's just say I did, and I'm a good person. I just want the best life for my kids. In fact, you could send me back. Just let my kids stay with somebody. I just want a better life for them. And how would I feel if I had to go back? I felt like I would be devastated. So, now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying deporting illegal people, or because that's criminal activity. I'm not supporting that. I'm not saying deporting them is wrong. It's not wrong. I'm just saying I have a heart. It's not that cold yet, and I sympathize with a lot of them, to where, like, you know what, I wouldn't want to go back if I had that opportunity. I know I'm not here legally. By the way, for all of you who get on social media and diss this country and beat up on this country, you better thank God that you were born in this country. I was born poor in this country, to a mom who raised 8 kids, barely. 2 bedroom shack, wasn't even a house. Boys in one room, girls in the other. Everybody split the bathroom. Chaos. If we had running water, we didn't have power. We didn't have lights. If we had food, we didn't have running water. It's just the way it was. We didn't have a bunch of stuff. It wasn't fun. It wasn't pretty. But guess what? I'm so grateful. You know why? Because I was born in this great country. Don't you for 1 second take for granted that you were born here, and you don't have to go through what these people are going through, walking thousands of miles just to get their kids to a better place, the promised land, not the biblical promised land, but it has been blessed, and it is a promised land. So for all of you, especially you clown celebrities who get out there, and you clowns who follow them, and you get out there, I appreciate the thumbs up. Somebody understand what I'm preaching. For all of you who get out there and say, well, I hate this country, I can't wait to leave this country, I got one word for you. Bye. This is the greatest country in the world. The whole world behaves when we have the right people in power. I know you don't always agree with everything somebody does. I know. I don't either. I don't either. But what I need you to understand is that you are blessed, yes, blessed to be born in this great country. You want to follow Ellen DeGeneres? I don't know if she moved or not, but I hope she does. It'd be great to get rid of her. Bye. Whoopi Goldberg or Whoopi, whatever it is. Bye. This is the best country. When was the last time you heard about people trying to break out of this country? Tell me. When was the last time you heard about people marching to the border, Americans marching to borders and giving everything, just dragging their families, dragging their belongings, just trying to break out of America? Ain't happening. Ain't happening. You people don't want to break out of America. I hear what you say, but your actions say something totally different, right? So you should be thankful. I know I'm going down a rabbit hole here and I'm kind of venting, but you guys should be thankful. You should sit back and take a deep breath and go, you know what? This country is not perfect. Yes, this country has a terrible history. Yes. Thank God you weren't born in that time. I thank God I wasn't born in that time. Thank God we don't do that today. Well, it was built on the back of slaves, and I got you. I understand. No, that wasn't right. Come on, that's common sense. Of course it wasn't right. Well, all that free labor, I got you, man. I'm not arguing any of that. None of that was right. The average person's not going to argue that and say, well, they brought slaves over here and they took them from their house and they pillaged their homes and they violated them and the family. Yes, yes, I got you. All true. Sad, terrible, should have never happened. Don't condone any of it. What I just said is most likely the response from pretty much every American. Only a few knuckleheads to say something different. But most people in this country are good people. Most people in this country love one another, right? We're not trying to hate on others. Yes, there's some bad people in this country. Yes, there's some bad cops, but most policemen are good. Here's some advice. Don't fight the cops. Get yourself arrested or even worse. I'm just saying. I know this ain't popular. I know. I'm venting a little. But I'm just letting you know. I come from a poor environment. Biracial. Mom's black. Dad's Hispanic. Never met my dad. Don't know him to this day. Never, probably will never know him. My kids, beautiful kids, never know their granddad. Never know. So we were in a neighborhood where the first time I saw, a unaliving go down, and I saw plenty of them after that. I was 12 years old. I even witnessed them firsthand. Eyewitness. I never went to court because you don't do those things. You don't talk. And 12 years old, that's kind of neighborhood I grew up in. First time I saw it, and I will see it plenty of times after that. And so I know what it's like to struggle, to be poor. I know what it's like to grow up in a violent environment. Trust me, what you see on this camera, on that camera right now, this guy that you're looking at right now, not what I was when I was younger. Not the same guy. You meet people that knew me in the past. I was talking to one of it's funny. I was talking to one of my friends' dads, one of my childhood friends, and I walked up to him. I said, I recognize you. Walked up to him. I said, hey, how's it going? And we started talking for a second. And he said, Sean, is that you? He's an older man now. It's probably, 20 years after we were kids. And he said this. He said, Sean, he said, man, it's good to see you. And he said, but boy, I used to hate to see you coming. And that's the kind of kid I was, kind of teenager, young adult I was. I was trouble. And that ain't a brag. You don't want to be like that. So now I'm saved by the blood of the Lamb. I don't do those things no more. Don't push me. I ain't perfect. Don't cross the line. But I don't want to do those things no more. I don't want to be that person anymore. So what I'm saying is I got to change. I got a family. I got blessed with an awesome, beautiful wife, amazing kids because I changed. This country has changed. Yes, I know it's not perfect. I got you. We ain't even arguing that. I got you. But it has changed. It has come a long way. I know Donald Trump's not perfect. I got you. But listen to me. There are no perfect people. Not you, not me. Only one, and that ain't you and me. Right? So we work with what we can work with. If your candidate didn't win, okay, it's time to move on. If my candidate didn't win, okay, it's time to move on. Let me adjust to the policies that are in play and let me try to create the best life I can and take advantage of these policies. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you believe the color of your skin or, your gender should automatically qualify you for a job, no, sorry, doesn't work that way. That's not right. We can't call some things right or wrong and then turn blind eye to certain other things. That's not right. So if you believe that DEI was fair, I disagree. We'll disagree. I love you, but I disagree. I think you should be hired according to what you can produce. That's only fair to the company, which is fair to the customer. Right? So if I'm forced to hire, let's say I got enough money to hire one office manager, right? But because I got to be in compliance with DEI, I have to hire that particular office manager when that person might not be as qualified, whatever color they are, right? Whatever gender they are, doesn't matter, but they come in a part of DEI. So I'm forced to comply with DEI. I don't know if funding backs it or whatever, but I'm forced to comply with it, right? And then I hire a person that, I don't believe is the most qualified. I have to let the most qualified person go because I can't hire what's best for my company. No, you cannot do that. If you ran a company, and I know most of you don't, just all I'm saying is try to sometimes, like I do, and I had to train myself to do this, put yourself in their shoes and be honest about it. If it's your company, you're trying to build a company, trying to build a brand, right? That's going to be powerful, that's going to have integrity, that's going to be around for a long time. And you're like, I got two candidates. This person is hyper qualified. This person, not so much, but the rules are saying I have to hire this person, not this person. Well, what if my business doesn't survive? And you're going to sit there, if you're honest, you're going to go, I want to hire the best candidate. I don't care who you are. I need the best candidate. Exactly. So I know there's a lot of people out there. I know I'm going to get the hate comments. I know, but listen, I'm just keeping it real. I'm telling you, I'm not here to be your friend. I tell my kids this. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to be your parent. We'll be friends later in life. I'm here to parent now and make sure you stay on the yellow brick road. Because I got to get you to Oz. I got to get you to the wizard. But for some of you, you take things for granted. You don't empathize. You don't put yourself in other people's shoes. And you don't take these things seriously. When people come into the country, yes, I saw Selena Gomez, who I'm a fan of. I saw her crying and her tweet or whatnot about people being kicked out of the country. But the question is, did they come here legally or illegally? Put aside your emotions. I know. Emotionally, it breaks your heart. It breaks mine. Trust me, it does. Not for the criminals and the terrorists. They can go. And I think you would agree with that. But for those who want to do better, it breaks my heart to see them have to go. That's why I say, because I'm flexible. That's why I say, look, you got to spend money to get them out of the country. I got you. Maybe we can kind of mitigate that a little. Maybe we could come up with something. Let's say, how many here? 10 million plus. Okay, logically and financially, we can't just fly planes out of the country like that, right? So how about we kick out the criminals first? Get them out of here. We don't need them. And for those who are here this is just me. You can agree or disagree. Let me know in the comments. Somebody said facts. I appreciate that. Let me know what you guys think about this stuff that I'm covering. Let me know what you think about these policies. I don't know how America thinks. I'm just telling you what I think, what I believe. And I'd like it to come from a place of love, right? But again, no tolerance, zero tolerance for the criminals. And I'm not talking about, I don't know if they arrest people for this. I'm not talking about jaywalking. I'm not talking about that. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hardcore criminals. They need to be locked up, right? So they need to go first. Out. Terrorist list, watch, out. And but for, let's say you get all those out. I know that's not realistic, but let's just say hypothetically you get all the criminals, terrorists out. All right. And so what you're left with now is a core of people who don't want to commit crimes, want a better life, and just want to do better. And I get it. They came illegally. So if you kick them out, you have every right to do so. I cannot argue with that. It would break my heart because I'm a parent, I'm a dad. It would break my heart. But if you kick them out, just like what Trump is doing, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. Right? I would like to see them, you know, do something a little different. Like I'm saying, just hear me out. Those that are left that are good, that are already here, if they're working already, that's a bonus. Let's create a system to get them acclimated, to get them into the system, make them legal. If they're here peacefully, I know they came wrong, so I know they came here legally. So if they get kicked out, there's nothing we can say about that. But let's just say we get the bad people out and we're stuck with the core of good people who want to do better. And okay, gotcha. Let's get them to work so we don't have to take care of them. Let's try to get them to work ASAP. It's just me. Let me know what you think. Try to get them to work ASAP because we cannot ship 10 million people out of this country. It's going to cost a lot of money. Can't do it. So let's try to get them to work ASAP. Close the border so we don't get this again. Let's create a system where people can get integrated into this country faster than what the process was. So I don't know how extensive the process is to get people into this country, but we need to find a way to speed it up so that people aren't waiting 6 months, 8 months, 2 years, 3 years to get into the country. So, hey, there might even be a window where, hey, February of this year, we might take 250,000 people, get on the list, and kind of like a lottery. Again, just me saying this stuff and thinking about this should tell you how lucky you are that you're not standing in those lines at the Rio Grande or at the border praying to God that you can get into this country. Please stop all of that stupidity and foolishness, talking about how you hate this country, how this country is terrible, how this country has a past. It does. We all do. It ain't perfect. Nobody's going to argue with that. But it's not that today. We need to be looking forward, not looking back. I understand we don't have to forget everything that's happened, but if it's going to be used as a crutch to hold you back and someone else back, then we need to stop it. This country should be about being progressive, moving forward. And I think that's what we're trying to do. Moving forward. And that's where we need to be. That's the direction we need to be going in, forward. Yes, I know the country has a past. I know it's horrible. Nobody's going to argue with that. Nobody's going to sit here and say it was a great idea. It was terrible. We know. Thank God we're past that. Let's leave it in the past, right? And move away from it as quickly as possible. Thank God you weren't here. Thank God I wasn't here. Thank God my family wasn't here during those times. So let's make the most out of what we have today. There's nobody here on this earth right now or in this country who were slave owners. Not one person. So let's stop beating people up. Everybody ain't against you. I'm just saying. Everybody ain't against you. Right? There's some people who just want to do better. So you get the bad people out. You got a bunch of good people left in the country who are here. They haven't committed any serious crimes or nothing like that. And they want to do better. We get them integrated into work as quickly as they can so they can start producing and become a contributor to the economy and to society. They're positive contributors to society. They're productive people and progressive, right? And now they're here. So what do? My thing is, hey, you can't fly them all out. So when you get the good people here and you believe that these are the good people, then let's try to get them integrated And look, you came here the wrong way. We don't condone it. But now that you're here, you're proving yourself. You want to do good. Let's go. We're gonna let you stay. Now, if you mess up, we might even give you like a probationary period. Like if you mess up, we're gonna give you 5 years. 5 years here. If you mess up at any point in those 5 years, and again, I'm not talking about a traffic ticket. I'm not talking about, jaywalking, just, I'm not talking about the like, the small things. I'm talking about, serious criminal matters. Like you should be arrested and put in jail right now, right? If you do any of those things, and most people don't, but if you do any of those things within that time period, really, now that I'm thinking about it, at any time, because you did come here illegally. So if you commit a serious crime at any time, you get rolled out. A lifetime. I think that's a good trade-off. Let me know what you think. If we're going to let you stay, because we can't ship everybody out, we only want to keep the good people. We want you to get jobs and get integrated into the system ASAP. And we'll let you stay. But if you commit a serious crime, or what we call a serious crime, or a felony, or anything like that, at any point in your lifetime, we're rolling you out. That's all I'm saying. To me, that's a fair trade. I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm just saying we can't fly everybody out. But if they do, it is fair and it is right because they came illegally. Again, thank God you were born in this country. How did I get into that? Let me know. I appreciate the thumbs up, guys. By the way, tonight, just a quick reminder, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use your phone to make money without having to go to work. It's all I do. So I get to sit here on these cameras and have fun all day because I don't have a job. I haven't had one since 2020 and I don't want one. I take care of my family just fine. My wife doesn't have to work. My kids go to nice schools. We live in a nice home, nice neighborhood. Love it. The way I was able to do that is not with a 9 to 5. A job will never give you that freedom. I did it by starting my own business from home, from my phone. It's called a Middleman business. That's why I wear the shirt. That's why the channel is the namesake. Follow me on social media, by the way, at any of the social media platforms, Middleman CEO. And if you have any questions about the training or getting into the training, Middlemanceoinfo@gmail.com. And so, but now you guys are getting to see how I think, getting an inside look at my mindset. So thank God you were born in this country. That's a blessing. Stop saying stupid things like you hate this country, you wish you were never born. Don't say that. There are people around this world that'll give anything to be in your place. You better stop before you find out. We traded you. Say, send me to Ghana. Okay, we traded you to Ghana. And what happened? Oh, there's a bunch of people in Ghana that want to get here. So again, until people are lined up at our border to break out of America, don't talk to me about how bad America is. Don't do that. So, and don't always hold its past against it. Sometimes you just got to move on. Don't always hold. It's not always fair. I don't have a great past. I don't like people bringing that up saying, man, I remember when you were this, you were always in trouble. You were in and out of jail. I don't want to talk about that. That's who I was. And I'm not going to sit here and allow you to remind me of that. I moved on from that. Right? This country, I think, I can say without fear of contradiction, has moved on. We haven't forgotten, don't get me wrong. We haven't forgotten what happened. We haven't forgotten the injustice. We haven't forgotten any of that. But we're trying to be better. We're trying to be a better country. And guess what? That comes with you being better and me being better. You being better, me being better. I do this channel, drop content. I don't have to. I already know how to do this stuff. I don't have to host a free training. By the way, put Middleman in the comments if you want to get the link to the free training class. Or just click the link in the video description. If the link leads nowhere, that means we're full. We don't have space. You'll have to wait. But I don't have to come on here and do this. I could be at the gym. I could be fishing. I could be playing golf. I could do a lot of things I enjoy doing. I only work about 1 hour a week. So, and that's because I have a VA, but we'll talk about that in the class. But again, I don't have to sit here and do this. I could be doing some other things. I do this channel to share with you some things that I've learned and I've experienced so that it could possibly help you. So when I say things like, don't buy a house if the paycheck is the way you're going to pay for it, because A 30-year mortgage is going to mean you're going to need a paycheck for the next 30 years. There is no freedom in that. You just signed away 30 years. I learned that from experience. How do I know? I bought a house with a paycheck. Wasn't fun. If you lose your job, you lose your house. I'm just saying. Tie it to an asset, not tie the liability, which is your house, to an asset, not tie the house to your paycheck. You don't want to do that. That's a knot you don't want to tie. Secondly, and I know people do it all around the country, I know. To each his own, but I'm just telling you what I experienced. Secondly, don't pile money in bank accounts. Well, Sean, that's crazy. Why would I not save a bunch of money? Because money is a tool meant to be used. It's only useful when it's used. If you sit on money, it's no good for you. It makes the bank rich, you poor. Do what the banks do, not what they tell you to do. When your money goes into the banks, what do the banks do? They tell you save it. Do the banks save it? No, the banks loan it. They multiply by 10 usually, and then they loan it. You put 1,000 in, they make 10,000 out of it, credit. And then they loan it to someone else, get interest payments back, pay you 0% interest. That's terrible. A better idea would be to do what the banks do. Find a way to make your money make money. That's it. Right? Thirdly, don't rely on your job as your only source of income. It's too dangerous. Why? Because if you lose your job, you lose everything. Your whole lifestyle is tied to your job. Don't believe me? Write down tonight at your kitchen table, write down every expense you have every month. And then write down next to it how you pay those expenses. And if you write down job, then erase job and paycheck from every space you put it into. Now, how do you pay those expenses with no job? See, that's why you never rely on one job as your only source of income. You must have another source of income, preferably a few, but at least one other. In case you lose your job, and you more than likely will, I don't know when, but you will, then you'll be able to take care of your family still. That's all I'm saying. All right, what else did Trump do? I'm going to get off of here soon, man. I'm having so much fun. I know a lot of you are hating me right now based on the way I think. By the way, I want to say this to everyone out there who's a Christian. I see this a lot of this on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and all that, where pastors are coming out and saying that God told them to vote for Kamala Harris and Trump was the wrong candidate. Let me tell you something. You're wrong. God didn't tell you that. You're wrong. I don't care who you are. You're wrong. God did not tell you to vote for a candidate whose policies go against biblical policy. Thank you. You're wrong. I saw a pastor the other day who was like, God said we're not to vote for Trump. And I was like, God didn't tell you that. God didn't tell you that. Because the policies on the other side are anti-God. You wanna put perverted education in school for kids? If I go to my kids' school and I see, no offense to anybody, but if I go to my kids' school and I find out you teaching them about transgender or LGBTQT. I know I said that wrong, but I don't mean to be insulting. You can raise your kid however you want to. You ain't raising my kid like that. We don't do that. We're raising alpha men in this house, alpha women. There ain't no betas in here, baby. You can think what you want to think, and I don't care how you feel about me. I told you I'm not here to make friends. But if I walk in there and there's a rainbow parade, we're gonna have a problem. I'm probably going to jail because I'm gonna raise hell. I told you, I'm saved. I ain't perfect. I told a friend the other day, he was like, man, you changed. I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, you could probably, cross the line with me and get away with it. I try to be patient now. I said, but man, if you cross the line with my family, my kids or my wife, boy, we're gonna have a problem. Straightway, like the Bible said, right away. We're about to have a serious problem. Don't play. You can play with me, and I'm forgiving. Don't cross the line with them. We're gonna have a serious problem. And but if I see that in my school, we're gonna have a problem. At my kids' school, we don't have a problem. My goal, like I told my wife, is to by the time these kids finish elementary school, no more public school for a bunch of reasons, including I know when I was a kid, there was we would have in Louisiana we would have tornado drills, not hurricanes because you would be home by then. We'd have like tornado drills, plant blowing, fires at plant drills, stuff like that. Nowadays, these kids, this is how sad we've gotten. Nowadays, these kids have active shooting drills. These are babies in schools. Some psycho might walk in there with a gun and you know what? I don't even like saying it, but you know what? We live in the anything goes era. You better be prepared. For those of you that are out there saying we need to ban guns, no, we don't. You better have yours. Let me tell you something. I grew up around a lot of guns. Criminals had them. They weren't supposed to have them, but they have them. Better guns than you. Let me tell you something. The criminals already have their guns. You better have yours. You better hope when they knock on your door or try to break in through your daughter's window that you got what you need. They're not coming there for knife combat. They're not coming there to do kung fu. You better be prepared. You better be strapped. So stop saying stupid things. This has turned into a common sense podcast. Just stop it. Guns are not killing people. We could take our gun, put it on the table, leave it there for a year, and never kill anybody. It'll protect us. Knives kill people. Are we banning them? Alcohol kill people. Are we banning it? People making stupid mistakes behind behind the steering wheel kill people. Are we banning cars? I'm just saying, y'all. Stop for a while. Take the emotion. Remove the emotionals. Remove the emotional part. Sit back and get logical. Get logical. Think about this stuff. Say, you know what? That does make sense. I better have mine because they have theirs. You better. You better. Might cost your whole family. You better be prepared. So no, we're not trying to take guns out of people's hands. We're trying to take them out of the criminals' hands, yes. But the good people, and I know what you guys are gonna say, man, look, some of these nuts get their hands on weapons and go do bad things. I know, and I wish there was a way we could prevent it, and I wish that somebody could have stopped them or will stop the next one before they hurt anybody. Of course I do. Come on now. Right? But if somebody walk into a grocery store, open fire, they could potentially unalive everybody in there. But one of the cashiers got a firearm, trained in firearm with the firearm. Returns fire, engages, returns fire, eliminates the threat. Saved the life of everybody in that store, including you. You might have been next. I'm just saying. Be smart. Don't let these people fool you. Also, black people. Yes, I can say black people. My mom's black. I grew up on the black side. My dad's Hispanic. I never knew him, never met him, don't know anything about him or his family. So, black people, stop letting them tell you anything. The celebrities, the politicians, stop letting them just fill your head. They know you're emotional. I know you're emotional. So they can fill your head or fill your TV or fill your phone with video, never the full story. You better sit back and start being logical. Say, wait a minute. Okay, I see the cop headline, white cop. As soon as you see that, you know what they're trying to do. As soon as you see them tell you what color the people are, come on, this should already hit you like, wait a minute. They're race baiting me. Come on, why'd you put that? You could have just said cop. White cop shoots black unarmed man. That's what it will say. Something like that. And don't get me wrong. I know there's some incidents out there that happens and it is a bad officer and they do something terrible. I know. But for every bad cop, there's 1,000 good cops, right? So don't let them fool you into thinking that every cop out there is bad. That's not true. Or we need to defund police. Well, who's going to come save you when the criminal's robbing your house? Don't be stupid. Well, there's some bad cops. There's some bad everythings. It's just the way this world is. I wish it wasn't that way, but there's some bad everythings. There's some bad lawyers, judges, doctors, surgeons, policemen, firemen, golfers, football players, kickers. What? There's some bad everythings. It's just the way it is. Right? And so when you see that and you see, well, white cop shoots, and notice they never say black cop because they know what's going to anger you. White cop shoots and kills unarmed black men. And that's all you see. And people go nuts. They riot in the streets, burn down their own neighborhoods, burn down stores in their neighborhoods where there's a mom down the street trying to take care of her kids, and she works there. Now she don't have a job. It's just stupid. And then you get the entire story, and it says, okay, cop pulled this guy over for, and I'll use an example that's real. And I know enough about it because I have a friend who's a detective who broke the story down to me, and he's black. I called him. This was a couple years ago. I said, I ain't going to say his name. I said, man, tell me what I'm watching because I don't know. I'm just an outsider looking in. I don't know how this stuff works. Who's wrong here? Here's what he told me. So we went back to the, I don't remember the guy's name. He was, let me look it up. Nope, I'm not even going to look it up. But this happened in Atlanta at a Wendy's, probably about 3 years ago, maybe. And the guy was drunk driving. He had fallen asleep in the Wendy's. Now, of course, we don't want anybody to get killed or lose their lives. That goes without saying. So the guy, but I'm just walking you through this. This is how they get you, but this is how you should be thinking from now on. And so the guy's obviously, he's falling asleep behind the wheel in a Wendy's drive-through. The dude's out. Somebody called because they're like, hey, this dude's sleeping. Either this guy is really, really tired, he's on drugs, or he's on alcohol, right? So the cops get there, two white cops, and they get there and they get the guy out. They're talking to him. It's obvious that there's an issue. So there's an issue, and so what happens is the cops, and this is what my guy's telling me. He's saying so the cops have they have the ability to call someone to pick this guy up, or they can just take this guy in. He says some jurisdictions or some places have incentives for bringing in drunk drivers, some don't, so it just depends. But it's up to the cops' discretion. But what they cannot do, and you would agree with this, is they cannot let him get back behind the wheel. Of course not. So the worst thing that could happen right now, because this guy could have no criminal past, just stressed out, drinking and driving, got busted, which he should have gotten busted. It was a good thing. It was a good thing that they caught him and they got him out of the car before he could hurt anybody. So that was a good thing, and I think you guys would agree with that. So, and they got him out of the car. They got this dude out of the car, and so he gets combative, if that's the word, and all of a sudden, because the worst thing that can happen to this guy right now is he just get arrested for DUI. He goes sit in jail overnight, see the judge in the morning. You guys know how that works, right? See the judge in the morning, find out what he's facing. If he's got no criminal history or nothing like that, then he might have to pay a fine, might have to take a class, go home to be with his family, because I think he mentioned he had 2 young girls. Dude, go home with your family. They're waiting on you. Sure, you're going to have to sleep in jail tonight, and you should, because you could kill somebody out there. So we don't want you to do that. You can't get back in this car. So they could take you in, or they could call somebody to get you, but you're not driving again. Not tonight. But the worst case is you have to go to jail, spend the night, see a judge, face the consequences. But good news is you didn't kill anybody and you're not going to jail for the rest of your life. But you can't go home. That's it. And so this guy, for whatever reason, it could have been alcohol influence. I don't doubt it. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to get off here in a second. Let's see. And so and I'll speed this up because I got to go now. And all of a sudden, this guy, it breaks out into a fight, and he's whipping these cops. First of all, he's beating them up, and he's winning this fight, but he shouldn't be a fight. But he's winning the fight, and he grabs one of the cops' tasers, take off and run, turns around, fire the taser. Cop pulls his gun, shoots him. So my guy tell me, he says, Sean, first of all, it could have been a situation where he said they could have legally tased him or shot him when he was beating them up, because he was. He said they didn't do it then. He said then he grabs one of the cops' taser, take off, turn around, fire, pop, hear the pop. He said as a cop, when you hear the pop, you're trained to respond. You don't know what it is. You just know there's a pop. Cop pulls out the gun, fires his weapon discharges. Unfortunately, the guy didn't make it. So he said, I said, man, well, people are going crazy. They're saying this guy's unarmed. He said, no, that's not true. If you have a taser, that's a dangerous weapon. If you tase somebody, he said, if you tase somebody and they're on the ground, what can you do to them? I said, anything you want. He said, exactly. He said, a taser can kill you, or it can immobilize you, where I can rob you, take the keys to your house, go to your house, break in, put you in the trunk, anything. And he said, the other thing is, the cop may not even realize that the other cop's taser's been taken. So he doesn't even know that's happened. And he said, but when he turns around and fires the weapon, then the cop has the right to fire back. He said, unfortunately, the guy lost his life, but it didn't have to be that way. Again, I'm just telling you guys, put the emotions aside and be logical. That's all I'm saying. Let me know what you guys think about this entire video. If you agree or disagree, I'm just telling you how I think. Be thankful you're born in this great country. Be thankful for all that you have and the things that you don't have. Be thankful you don't have to swim your family across the river or across the mountains or pay somebody to smuggle you in the back of a truck and risk your life. Be thankful you live in this great country. Is it perfect? No. Does it have a bad past? Yes, but we're trying to get past that, and we got to get past that together, right? We're trying to make the most out of what we have and go to the best place possible and be progressive all together. Do I agree with everything Trump does? No. I just told you that. Do I think he's the best candidate for the country right now? There are some other candidates I like, but out of the two that were running, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that goes without saying. So let's be in prayer that he makes the right decisions, right? And that things in this country get a lot better. I hope they do. It's hard for the average person. Don't be average. So anyway, guys, that was real talk. So I hope you guys appreciated it. Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you want to be in that live training, put the word middleman in the comments or click the link in the video description below. Get there early because we're not going to have a lot of spots. And I'm going to teach you how to use your phone to make money. If that's you, I'll see you later. All right. Have a great night, guys. Be blessed. Peace.